So, first video of building in public. It's Friday night. Got me in a vest. Lucky you. So, I didn't do it last week. The whole point of this is being transparent as hell. Didn't do it last week. Slipped up already. Doing it now. So, and I want to do these every week to kind of cover what's going on, where I'm at, what's winning, what's not winning, what needs to be improved, what's a fucking nightmare. Everything, basically. So, how I want to structure these, obviously this bit of an intro, I guess. Some of you will, if you're watching this on LinkedIn, obviously some of you will know me. It's raw. It's not really designed in a way, or not edited, should I say, to glam it up. It's just raw video, and I'm going to go through everything to cover all bases, really. So let's look at the numbers. Now, before we look at the numbers, well, let's be upfront. I've not earned anything, right? But this is the second week of setting up a completely new business. And while I've been doing some outreach and having some conversations, there's obviously a lot of work in the background to do. And whilst I wanted to do a lot of outreach this week, I ran into a few issues on my end, personal side, so that kind of slowed things down a bit. But I still understand that there's loads more, or a big chunk that's left to be done in order to get it revenue ready. Now, if you don't know what I'm doing, it's kind of two stages. The first stage is running a series of newsletters, building them up and selling advertising revenue. The second half of the business is like an investment part, but we don't need to go into that yet. So the first part is building up newsletters, a couple of which I've already done already. Got an e-commerce one, that's at 10k subs, have super high engagement rates, open rates, click-through rates, things like that. We've got a technology-based one, so looking at future tech, so looking at things like AI, so and so forth. An agency one, which is in the build, and then obviously my newsletter, although I'm not going to sell advertising through that. That's about 43,000 subs, something like that. So that's the premise. That's how it's getting built. Now, from next week, I want to go heavy on cold calling, cold outreach, just to chat to people, just to get an understanding of what it is certain people are looking for in advertising. I mean, I've got a good idea because I've dealt in that area before, but it's always better just to speak to people on the ground, speak to people who are your likely buyers, and see what it is, see whether there's any traction there, see whether there's any benefits. Soft sell it in a way to kind of, be open and say, look, how would this work in your business? Would you be likely to use it, and so forth? Have you thought about different avenues of advertising? Because while there's a lot of money in newsletters, and there's a lot of companies that spend a lot of money advertising on them, I'd say there's still quite a small percentage of companies that actually do choose that avenue to advertise. A lot of times it's done through affiliate links and stuff. You got your big software companies and SaaS companies like HubSpot, things like that. They always advertise on it. But in terms of other companies, they kind of either do paid media, typical social posts, things like that. So it's speaking to them one-on-one and kind of getting an understanding of what it is they're looking for, and then you can sort of tailor your service through that. So that's the basis. like I say, if you're watching this on YouTube and you don't know who the fuck I am, that's what I'm doing. Building it from 0 to 3 million in 3 years. 3 different stages. Year 1, obviously you need to test the idea and see that it works. So that's 0 to 100k. Test the idea, brilliant. Year 2, that's when you start onboarding the right people, scaling it up properly. And year 3 is go all at it and get it to the 3 million mark. That's the goal there with this. So let's look at the numbers. Where are we? I need to shuffle some windows around. I'll be a second. Press that. Before we go to the numbers, there's, like I say, there's a lot of background stuff that needs to be done. And I wasn't using ClickUp before. I was using Notion and Pipedrive in my last business. So what I'm doing, I've gone completely to ClickUp. So obviously you've got all that set up. Now, you can go 2 and 1 ways here, because you don't want to... Thankfully I've run businesses before, so I know how it goes. But if you're just starting out, you want to test the idea and get it out to people. Early on, I'd say, once you start getting up some traction and once you start understanding the market and sales start going out, get fucking organised. Start using a tool like this. You can do it in a spreadsheet if you want, but get organised, because there's a lot of tasks that you repeat, a lot of tasks that you kind of forget about, and if you've got scraps of paper everywhere, you're just going to get lost. So that's that. Trackers that I've been using, like I say, outreach numbers, slow. Now I'll put all these in a link so you can see them live view. Obviously I've been testing some cold email templates, some DMs, comments, those are stats. Like I say, the first few weeks, well, up until next week, these are going to be low. I foreseen that was always going to be the case. That's what happens when you start a new business. This is kind of a sheet that I print out every week just to keep me track. So I can tick it off, boom, tick it off, boom. That's what I need to do. Yeah, you don't need to see that. But yeah, it's useful to have a little system in place, because when you're starting a business, things get hectic. Like, that's the problem when you've got working off a little piece of paper and this, that and the other. Things get hectic. You will get lost. You will miss things. So the sooner you can get organised. Now, in the ClickUp, for example, I've put loads of tasks in there because I've foreseen how things like this go. So that's good. If you're just starting out, just want little things here and there that remind you, keep you up to date, try and keep to a schedule, get your non-negs done first, so like your outreach, so cold email, cold calls, DMs, whatever it is, get them done first, then you can start doing the rest of your day. So those are the numbers. I've already gone through what I've been working on. Started a couple of templates, not really gone heavy on data. I think I've done about 50. From next week, I'll be testing a new template every day, maybe 2, depending on time and whatnot, and then a good few hundred contacts within each of those. That's on cold email, then cold outreach on LinkedIn, cold calls every day. I set a target for 50. What did I do? Put it on here somewhere. So what we got? 50 cold calls, 50 DMs or voice notes, 50 cold emails, 1 new cold template, 1 post, 50 comments, and then record. Oh, that's wrong. Let's record weekly updates. Not that you bothered watching that, but yeah. So yeah, they're the ones. Like I say, there's some of the newsletters. Some are built already, some are just in the design stages or whatnot. So that's it. That's where we're at. Systems, SOPs designed, some funnel work in the background, cold outreach all honed in on, call lists, call data, all that's ready to go from Monday. That's good. That's where we're at. So that's... Just switch my windows around a second. So that's where we're at, really. That is week 1 and week 2 of a new business. Build it in public. Now I have set, because I need to do 100k in the first year to kind of test this out, my 3-month target for sales is 30k. I think that's achievable. I think that's easily achievable there. But I need to hit the numbers. I need to keep out the numbers and pivoting or adjusting little things here and there when needed. But the full basis of this business, I think it'll work out well. That's where we're at. I won't bore you with anything else, because until we start doing outreach, until we start gaining some traction on there's not a lot really that I can go through with you. I mean, there's the systems in the back end. Could probably do like a webinar on that when we get a little bit further down the line. SOPs are an absolute must. You need systems in there as early on as you can, but as long as it doesn't interfere with your sales. And I mean that in the sense of, if you're just spending all day designing or designing systems or designing anything really, I've said this before in my posts, if you're just spending 7 hours of the day twiddling a logo and not doing any outreach, pretty quickly you're going to be like, this business has failed. And it's not failed, you've just not made any real push with it, I guess, is the best word to use. A business is based on sales early on. Now, once you start getting those sales in, start documenting that process, start doing the SOPs. But that's second. First is sales. So I might even record some calls maybe. I don't know. We'll see. But next week, week 3, now a lot of the back end stuff is done. Week 3 and week 4 of month 1, we can start to make a lot of sales calls, a lot of outreach, and then see what we can do the first month of business. It's good. I think I might do a couple of webinars further down the line, because there's a lot of stuff there that I've been doing that I think you'll find really helpful if you run newsletters, for example. How to scale them up in the way that I've scaled it up. Like I say, I've got 2 at 10k, high engagements and whatnot. So I think you'd benefit a lot from that. So I'll when I find time, I'll get to plan that and put it together so you can all watch it. Yeah, cool. Let's leave it at that. Week 2, month 1. It may not seem like a lot of progress has been made from watching this video, but a fuck ton has been done in the background. Now, if I was half my age and didn't have any of the health issues that I didn't have, I could have done that in a couple of days probably. Stay all-nighters and whatnot. So if you've got your youth behind you, make the most of it. Shit's on your side, because when I was younger, I could do day after day after day, all-nighter, crack out a load of stuff, and make some serious progress. Now I've got to think of my sleep and a load of exercise and other bits. So it's finding that balance. But even with that balance there, still some very good progress been made in 2 weeks. It's not like you can just start up a business and go, look, millionaire from day one. It doesn't work like that. And the whole point of this is being upfront, being real, pointing everything out that goes right, goes wrong, the problems, the benefits, the joys, the woes, the frustrations, the highs, the lows, everything. And as I start documenting it my end daily, then I can start putting more together for you. But yeah, thanks for watching. Sorry for this one's being a bit all over, but it is the first video that I've done on it. So thanks for watching.